In the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Beneficent. Now with the main headlines. Texas hosts largest Shia cultural gathering with over 10,000 attendees. Denmark's parliament adopts law banning Quran burnings. ISIS sexually abused Shia Christian and Yazidi girls as young as 9, UN report reveals. Europe still buying products made with Uyghur forced labour, says Saudi. Peace be upon the Master of Martyrs, peace be upon you, dear viewers. This is Amir Ma'ash and you're watching Shia Waves live from Imam Hussein TV 3. The Grand Exposition Hall in San Antonio, Texas, USA hosted a cultural gathering that aims to raise awareness about the Twelver Shia Islamic doctrine in a region where Islamic representation is not sufficiently present. According to Shia Waves agency, the Shia cultural gathering saw the participation of a large number of professors, students, authors, publishers, religious leaders, and those interested in Shia Islamic heritage and thought. The agency added that the event was hosted by the Society of Biblical Literature and the American Academy of Religion and attracted more than 10,000 participants who took part in over 1,200 academic sessions and workshops. Denmark's parliament has passed a bill that makes it illegal to burn copies of the Quran in public places after protests in Muslim nations over the desecration of Islam's holy book raised security concerns. More details in the following report.
Denmark passed legislation on Thursday effectively criminalizing Islamophobic Quran burning protests on the grounds of inappropriate treatment of writings with significant importance for a recognized religious community. Following a heated debate among lawmakers, the bill was passed with 94 votes in favor and 77 votes against in the 179-member Danish parliament. The bill makes it illegal to burn, tear, or defile holy texts in public or online to widely disseminate them, which means offenders can risk a fine or jail term for as many as 2 years. The bill was first introduced in August but was later amended due to concerns raised within the ruling coalition about freedom of speech. The Danish Justice Ministry said in a statement that the law is aimed to combat systematic mockery, which raises terror threat levels in Denmark. Early in August, members of the ultra-nationalist group Dansk Patrioter, or Danish Patriots, burned a copy of the Quran in front of the Turkish embassy in Copenhagen. The perpetrators chanted anti-Islamic slogans during the provocative act, which was carried out under police protection. From July 21st to October 24th, 483 book burnings or flag burnings were recorded in Denmark, according to national police figures. In 2006, Denmark was at the center of widespread anger in the Muslim world after a Danish newspaper posted 12 cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad, including one wearing a bomb as a turban. Muslims consider images of the Prophet as being sacrilegious and encouraging idolatry. The images escalated into violent anti-Denmark protests by Muslims worldwide. Sweden, too, is considering ways to legally limit Quran desecrations, but is taking a different approach than Denmark. It is looking into whether police should factor in national security when deciding on applications for public protests. This is Ali Al-Hadi reporting for Shia Waves.
A report of the United Nations investigation team tasked with uncovering the crimes committed by the ISIS terrorist organization against religious and ethnic minorities in areas under its control in Iraq. It is reported that the leadership of the terrorist organization had encouraged its members to commit serious violations against young girls in its areas of influence, adding that the team had succeeded in compiling a list of sexual assaults committed against women and children in Iraq between 2014 and 2017. The report has stressed the urgent need for further investigations into the sexual crimes committed by ISIS against Christian children, Shia Turkmen, Kakai and some Sunnis, while the UN team remains committed to its mandate to continue collecting, analysing and evaluating evidence on these horrific crimes. Let us remind our respected viewers of today's headlines. Texas hosts largest Shia cultural gathering with over 10,000 attendees. Denmark's parliament adopts law banning Quran burnings. ISIS sexually abused Shia Christian and Yazidi girls as young as 9, UN report reveals. Also tonight, British lawmakers slam government for not tackling rising Islamophobia. A substantial volume of apparel tainted by Uyghur forced labour is moving into the EU without restriction, said the study published by the left-leaning socialists and Democrats grouping in the European Parliament. The report, relying on public sources and mapping of supply chains, said 39 clothing brands known in Europe were at high risk of sourcing apparel made by Uyghurs compelled to participate in state-imposed labour transfers. Clothing companies such as Zara, Next and Prada were using at least 4 Chinese manufacturers that relied on forced Uyghur labour, it is said. The number of at-risk European companies indicates that EU policy is not protecting its consumers from buying products made with Uyghur forced labour, the study said. And now we continue with some short news. The UN Cultural Agency on Wednesday recognized iftar, the meal that breaks the daytime fast during the Muslim holy month of Ramadan, on its list of intangible cultural heritage. The UN agency's recognition came following the application for the socio-cultural tradition that was jointly submitted by Iran, Turkey, Azerbaijan and Uzbekistan to the UN Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. More than 12,000 people have been killed in war-torn Sudan since April, the UN Humanitarian Affairs Office said on Thursday. The deaths include 1,300 people who were killed between 28th of October and the 24th of November, the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs said in a statement. Liverpool Hope University has set up a new interdisciplinary research group to examine the challenges faced by British Muslims in the 21st century Britain. The main aims of the Muslim in Britain research group are to develop and share new ideas of research in the field, increase interdisciplinary research, identify areas of collaborative research, organize research seminars and conferences, and seek external funding for collaborative research projects. The group will also be building partnerships with other research groups and centres and is actively looking to work with local and national Muslim community organisations on collaborative research projects and knowledge exchange partnerships. Somali National Army, backed by local forces on Thursday, killed 33 members of Sunni extremist terrorist group Al-Shabaab and injured several others in a special operation. Somali military officials said that the forces targeted a primary base of the militant group, resulting in casualties, destroyed the Al-Shabaab command center and seized weapons cache. They added that the government is committed to sustaining operations against Al-Shabaab militants in central Somalia to ensure the security prevails throughout the country. Muslim traders have been allegedly debarred from installing their business units at a temple fair in Karnataka. Muslim vendors say they were instructed to obtain stalls in the name of Hindus so that they can conduct their business. Meanwhile, the Street Vendors Association has expressed discontent over the situation and asked the government and district administration to look into the matter. The Voice of America, a US state-owned news network, has said that British parliamentarians from various political parties, including the ruling Conservatives, harshly criticised the government for failing to address rising anti-Muslim hatred and ways to tackle such crimes. The news network added that in the opening of a parliamentary debate on Thursday, Labour MP Naz Shah said several members of parliament have repeatedly requested a debate on the issue for the past several years, but the calls have fallen on deaf ears by the government. According to the latest statistics, Labour's Shah said that there has been a 600% rise in Islamophobic incidents in the UK, including both verbal and physical abuse, as well as vandalism, such as the dumping of a pig's head at a proposed site of a mosque in Barnoldswick. According to a professor from the University of Queensland, Australia, record-breaking land and sea temperatures driven by climate breakdown will probably cause unprecedented mass coral bleaching and mortality throughout 2024. The upper ocean is undergoing unmatched changes in conditions, ecosystems and communities that can be traced back to the 1980s when mass coral bleaching first appeared, ocean scientists say. Mass coral bleaching happens when delicate corals become stressed due to factors including heat, causing them to lose their brown microbial algae, turning them white. Pakistan has urged the Indian government to ensure the safety, security and protection of minorities, particularly Muslims and their places of worship. The Pakistani Foreign Office issued the statement on Wednesday in commemoration of the 31st anniversary of the demolition of the historic Babri Mosque, when a mob of Hindu zealots demolished the centuries-old place of worship. The statement said it is lamentable that India's superior judiciary not only acquitted the criminals responsible for this hateful act, but also allowed the construction of a temple on the site of the demolished mosque. We have reached the end of today's Shia Waves show. Let's remind our viewers of today's headlines. Texas hosts largest Shia cultural gathering with over 10,000 attendees. Denmark's parliament adopts law banning Quran burnings. ISIS sexually abused Shia, Christian and Yazidi girls as young as 9, UN report reveals. Europe still buying products made with Uyghur forced labour, says study. British lawmakers slam government for not tackling rising Islamophobia. Unprecedented mass coral bleaching expected in 2024, says Australian scientist. Pakistan calls on India to safeguard minorities, especially Muslims. You can view the latest news on Shia Waves website, and you can send news of your city or country to be published on our news agency. Contact us on the numbers at the bottom of the screen. This is the end of today's news. Thank you for watching. We pray to Allah Almighty to hasten the reappearance of the Master of our time. Wassalamu alaikum.
I am the sun, the star at the center of your universe. I am a wondrous threat made of hydrogen